insert clever reference and obscure joke here. It's time for the
midweek wrap-up.
And just like every other edition of the midweek wrap-up, we're going to start off with Main Event, which kicked off with Main Event's first ever cutting-edge peep show, the second ever cutting-edge peep show of any kind.
And I think it might be the first time that either the Cutting Edge or Peep Show has been on Main Event. I think the Peep Show's been on once.
It's possible.
But I don't think Cutting Edge has ever been on Main Event.
No, I don't think so. And the guest was Adam Rose and the Rosebuds.
Yeah, they called Adam Rose a chump stain.
He's a Rickazoid.
They're not a fan of Adam Rose because although he does have the Exotic Express, they were interested about that. They're trying to figure out what it is, and he said, they
were interested in where the bunny was. They wanted to see the bunny.
Adam Rose says, they're the Rosebuds. They follow me around. They worship the ground that I walk on. And the hot cat chick started bowing. And they really want to know where the bunny was. And
Adam Rose says he put him down permanently 2 weeks ago on Raw.
We can only hope.
Raw.
Is that your Adam Rose impression?
No, it's just
That's a terrible impression.
It's kind of my Jersey Raw. Raw. It was on Raw. Put the bully down on Raw.
And so then Edge and Christian, wanting to have fun, they get back on top. They're like, well, hey, we want the Rosebuds to do a 5-second pose with us. And Adam Rose says, no. They do what I say, and we're gonna leave. So come on, Rosebuds, let's go. And he gets out of the ring, and all of them are just like, really don't want to leave.
They want a 5-second pose with Edge and I don't blame them.
So Adam Rose storms off really mad, and we get a 5-second pose with the really hot Rosebuds.
Lot of hot babes.
Couple of random dudes, and Edge and Christian.
Edge's stunt double was also there.
Yes. Yeah, he got his stunt double back from the cowboy looking
Something
guy.
Or other.
Yeah. Or was it the Pharaoh?
It might have been the Pharaoh guy.
Might have been the Pharaoh. Yeah. So, interesting. Edge and Christian with the Rosebuds. Overall interesting.
Yeah.
Then our first match of Main Event was Charlotte versus Sasha.
NXT kicking butt on main roster shows now.
And the great thing about this was, it wasn't as long as their 2 title matches that we got the last couple weeks.
Yeah. But still awesome.
Still great. They got their shit in. Charlotte went over. Michael Cole didn't know what her fucking finishing was.
Her finishing?
Finishing, yeah. I didn't know.
He doesn't know what the finishing is.
Yeah. What is
but
the
we
finishing?
know what the finishing move is. Natural selection.
Yeah. Michael Cole was kind of like a fish out of water at this point because apparently he doesn't watch NXT.
No, JBL I felt though was kind of in place with what was going on.
Yeah.
Because at one point he told Michael Cole to shut up and call the match.
And on top of that, Booker T's on commentary.
Yeah, Booker T making his main event commentary debut.
So we got a three-person commentary team. Booker T likes to put over NXT. JBL's super proud of it because he was the general manager for a while. But yeah, Sasha, Charlotte,
looked good,
kicking ass. A real solid match for the short time slot that they got.
Yeah.
Then we go to the back, and Santino's attempt at a New Year's party isn't going so well. The only person that showed up is the Cobra.
It's all in part doing everybody feeling down that the Authority is back in power.
Yeah, and he's upset. He's like, there's no one here, and he tells the Cobra not to try and kiss him,
which he did last year.
Like he did last year. But then his first party guest would show up, and it would be Eric Rowan asking where the party is. And so now we have...
And Santino with a defective noisemaker.
So now we have Santino, Eric Rowan, the Lamb Mask, and the Cobra.
Yes.
That's a hell of a party right there, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
And then moving on...
I'm inviting Rowan to my New Year's party next year.
Our next match was...
The next match was... Jobber versus Justin Gabriel.
This was their attempt at making Titus O'Neil relevant, and
well, they did this match last week on Superstars.
It's true. That's kind of been the thing. They do the match 1 week on Superstars, and then they graduate it to main event the next week. Yeah. They've done that with a few matches the last couple weeks.
So Justin Gabriel held his own.
Yeah.
For a good portion of the match.
You were really hoping that Titus O'Neil was not going to bark anymore?
And he barked anyway.
He's actually calling himself the Gator now.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's doing that to like keep reference, waiting for Heath Slater to come back to TV.
God, I can only hope that this is somehow tying into Heath Slater.
It's the only thing that's making Titus O'Neil relevant.
Yeah.
He ends up winning with a top rope clash with the Titus, which was he got his foot stuck.
I'm not gonna call it a top rope clash with the Titus.
Well,
it's just a clash with the Titus pulling Justin Gabriel off the top rope.
Yeah. He got his foot stuck.
If it was a top rope clash with the Titus, I might actually have been slightly like this much impressed.
Like that 4% he wouldn't have sucked if he stopped barking.
No, it's like 0.94% impressed.
Ooh, ouch. He got his foot stuck under Justin Gabriel, then took him off the top rope into a clash of the Titus, and Titus O'Neil gets the win.
It's the only decent looking move Titus O'Neil really does.
Good thing it's his finisher.
That's why it is his finisher.
Then we go back to Santino's attempt at a party. R-Truth shows up, and then it starts to get a little awkward.
Yeah, well, R-Truth was talking about, like, hey, we need to bring in more people and get some music going and yada, yada, yada. And then he notices, like, Santino's just drunk now at this point, and he's thinking things are getting awkward between Santino and Eric Rowan.
Yeah, and so R-Truth excuses himself, and then Santino's like, oh, no, wait, don't leave it. Oh, well.
And Rowan hit him in the face with one of those other things.
Yeah. He's like...
The roll-out party favor that blow into and it extends.
Yeah. Jesus. And then we have our main event, the main event of main event, the newly crowned tag team champions, the Usos taking on Dust to Dust.
Yes.
Another awesome match. These two teams, always good. Except for their very first match. But yeah, having the Usos as tag team champions, we've got kind of a potential resurgence of the tag team division now, because we got the New Day, we got the Masters, we have Ascension have come up. So
some people online are dubbing the Masters the Mailmen.
Yes, I've seen that.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, because they always deliver.
Yeah. Hashtag MM, one for each of them.
So the Usos go over on Dust to Dust. A real solid match. We have another unintentional screw job. Stardust goes for the disaster kick. Uso ducks. He kicks Goldust in the face. Gets tossed out of the ring. Usos make the tag. Superfly splash onto Goldust. Usos get the win. So we could maybe, I don't know. I'm wondering if this is 2 weeks now. Because last week
I'm theorizing that this is the split to lead to Cody versus Dustin at WrestleMania. Something that they have been pushing for years.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it last week on Main Event, because last week Goldust screwed over Stardust against Big E.
Yeah.
But that was it for Main Event. Then on Superstars...
side note.
Oh.
I'm disappointed that Main Event decided to put more recap stuff in rather than putting in a fourth match.
And,
the one uppance about that, though, is they did recap the Daniel Bryan bit.
The Daniel Bryan bit, and then the Return of the Authority.
Yeah. Which, I was okay with them recapping the Daniel Bryan bit, because that was fun.
Yeah, and it's important.
Yeah.
And the Authority should have waited until next week. So we kicked off Superstars with Eric Rowan versus Tyson Kidd.
Yes.
Rowan's been working a lot of the big guys lately. He's been working Kane, he's been working Big Show, Cesaro. And so now, Tyson Kidd is significantly different, but still a really good match.
Yeah, I mean, WWE is really trying to get Rowan over in the ring by putting him together with just the really good experienced talent.
I think Rowan is the fact that
I feel like he absorbs it all too. Like he is absorbing all this stuff like it's
yeah. He's learning, and he was the outcast from the two groups that split up, the Wyatts and the Shield. Eric Rowan was the one that were like, oh man, he's gonna get lost in the fold. I
feel like I said the same speech last week.
He's gonna get lost in the fold, but I feel like they're doing a lot of building for him, not only in the ring, but they're having a lot of backstage segments with him.
Yeah, I definitely think that was kind of maybe they got the wind of that from people like. A lot of people were maybe talking backstage, like, oh, well, if they split up the Wyatt family, Harper's good, and Bray Wyatt's gonna have some feuds, but what are we gonna do with Eric Rowan? What are we gonna do with Eric Rowan? And I think maybe WWE got nervous, so they're like, we have to make sure that we don't lose Rowan. Like, we have to make sure that Rowan doesn't just fade away into obscurity, so we're gonna push him and start putting him in different backstage things and then giving him matches and stuff. And, I mean, it works for him because, I mean...
They can really put him in anything because he is the simpleton character.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
Or
it
genius.
works, and I'm liking it. Eric Rowan picks up the win with the full Nelson Slam again.
Yes.
I think he's sticking with that as a finisher.
Weird start to the match, though. Rowan was giving Tyson Kidd a rapey face.
Yeah, he's like...
Hardcore
He's
rapey
like over
face.
the court, like...
Licking his lips.
It was scary. Like, I don't know why I rewound, but I did, just because I don't know, maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I rewound and it scared me still. So yeah, Rowan getting the win. Then we had an on and off feud that seems to happen all the time. Main event of Superstars was Fandango versus R-Truth.
Yes.
The battle of dance styles.
Yeah. I loved Fandango's working over R-Truth's
Yes.
left shoulder.
Yes. Yeah. The left.
It was... he came up with quite a few innovative little things.
Yeah. He stepped on it and then dropped the knee.
He did the leapfrog behind R-Truth to post him.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, yeah, good. It was good work by Fandango, who ends up getting the win.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still trying to get the new and improved Fandango over, but I feel like it's falling flat faster than the original Fandango gimmick.
Well, it doesn't have the catchy little thing for the crowd to do.
Yeah.
Which is one of the main things that got Fandango really over.
Was the dancing with the song. Dancing in the singing.
The build-up to Fandango initially was another thing that was really integral in getting him over.
Yeah.
Initially, is he had the weeks and weeks of build-up of coming out and not wrestling for whatever his excuse was each week. It was, I'm coming out, but I'm not actually going to wrestle. And then, you had weeks of Fandango.
You're not saying my name right, so I'm not going to wrestle for you.
So many weeks of Fandango getting built up. Oh, he's going to debut on Raw. No, he's going to debut on SmackDown. No, he's going to debut over here on Main Event. No, he's going to debut on Raw. Until it ended up being WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then he beat Chris Jericho.
That kind of a build-up, plus the song doesn't have the song going on.
Yeah.
The same way. And then I felt like they did a lot more harm than good, having him kind of be crushed by Roman Reigns in a promo and a match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, new and improved, maybe. We have yet to see. New, yes. Improved, we have yet to see.
It's
got a little bit more of a mean streak.
It's mid-card hell for him, unfortunately, unless something big happens. But yeah, Fandango did get the win over R-Truth on Superstars with the top rope leg drop. So at least he's winning.
Yeah.
At least he's winning matches, and he's staying on TV.
Yeah.
So now
network TV.
Network TV, yeah. So let's take a little break from WWE because I've got some interesting TNA news.
No Lucha Underground again.
Yeah, next week.
Still coming back.
Next week, Lucha Underground will return. We'll get the Aztec Warfare. We'll get the very first Lucha Underground champion.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we'll have some interesting stuff to talk about.
Is it
next
TNA
week.
news?
Yes, TNA news. They're getting ready to debut on Destination America, and there's some interesting changes. We got some re-signs. We got some people who are being moved to the alumni section, which is alluding to potential not re-signings of a couple of pretty big stars.
Yeah, I heard with this, like, a lot of people have bailed already, just on the fact that, before TNA signed the new deal, a lot of people were like, well, we're getting off this sinking ship while there's still a lifeboat.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of TNA guys, or former TNA guys now, are looking to jump over to Global Wrestling Federation, where Jeff Jarrett's doing his new thing. But yeah, and I hear it, like, it's a lot, the roster is shrinking a little bit.
Yeah. So, first off, a couple changes that are going on is that on Destination America, there will be no more blood. So, going the WWE route, not necessarily a PG era, but I think the channel itself is definitely influencing what will and will not happen on the show.
Yeah, as channels are opt to do.
Yeah, and I'm not one to say that blood is necessary in wrestling, but I think this might hurt TNA just because that's like the one thing.
That was one of the biggest differences between TNA and WWE was that TNA still was able to be violent.
Yes.
In that way.
Yeah. And so, so taking the blood away from TNA might be a hindrance, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Another change is since they're changing channels, there is talks of reboot. Now, from what I've got from the article I read is that it's going to be a reboot of storylines. They're also changing the Knockouts Championship, which is currently held by Taryn Terrell. It's not going to be the white strap with the red accents anymore. It's going to be a black strap with blue accents. So she posted a picture around Christmas time of all the title belts around a Christmas tree, and a new Knockouts title was in place. So it'll be interesting to see if they completely change storylines, if they're going to, reference anything that happened before. Now, knowing that this is something that WCW did just before they died, this could potentially be a really bad sign for TNA.
The one thing that I'm curious of is if they're doing a reboot, are they going to clear all the titles?
Yeah.
And start from the get-go? Because, it's like, it's one thing, but at the same time, I feel like it's cool if you're doing a reboot. I feel like you do need to wipe the slate clean. Mm-hmm. At the same time, though, I feel like, what about the guys who are the current champions? That's kind of a shit stick for them.
Yeah.
Unless they're some of the people not coming back to TNA.
There is a title match set for the end of January, I believe. It's Bobby Lashley versus Bobby Roode for the TNA Championship. So I'm not 100% sure on which one of them is champion currently. I believe it's Bobby Roode. So I don't know if maybe that's going to be a match to determine who is the first TNA champion going on this new route, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, going with reboots of storylines, this will kind of segue into people who aren't re-signing with the company. One of which is Rob Terry, who is currently the Freak in the Menagerie. Mm-hmm. Menagerie is now being touted as just a 3-person group, where it would be Nux, Rebel, and Crazy Steve. Mm-hmm. There's no reference of the Freak anymore in their bio. And he's been moved to the alumni section, along with a eclectic group of people. Rampage Jackson is one. He's officially making his return to UFC.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be doing that anymore. Shark Boy has been moved to the alumni section. Knockout Brittany, who was kind of wavering on stardom and not stardom. She was in a couple storylines.
Yeah, but I think the interesting note with her is that she was backstage at Our Evolution.
Yes. There's talks of her potentially getting a WWE tryout.
Well, I mean, she was originally on NXT.
Yes.
In the early seasons that you can find on Hulu, not the network. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that she'll probably have to go the route of the tryout, but just to be re-signed.
Yeah, and I know she's been doing a couple indie shows. I follow her on Instagram, and I think I'm following her on Twitter right now also. She's been posting pictures of herself at different shows. The most notable guys on the alumni section now are Devon, who left left recently.
Yeah.
And now officially Bully Ray.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was talks because of them being inducted into the TNA's Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That they only signed a special 3-program deal to come in to do that show, the Bound for Glory show, and getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I think just the fact that they had to extend the contracts for 3 shows in order to keep them on to do that was already, these guys are already moving on.
Yeah. So could we see the Dudleys coming back to WWE soon?
I hope so.
That would be awesome.
I hope so.
They are my favorite tag team of all time.
I'd really like to see them fight the Ascension.
That'd be badass. I'd be okay with that. And then one person that's kind of on the fence, she's working a per-event deal, is Gail Kim. She hasn't signed a contract, but she is working on a event-to-event basis. Now, people who have officially re-signed for the reboot on Destination America include Mr. Anderson, Abyss, Madison Rain, EC3, Jesse Goddard, and Kurt Angle. So they will all officially be on the rebranded TNA when they move to Destination America.
That's good. I mean, the one person that surprised me a little bit is Abyss.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard he's a very Jeff Jarrett loyalist. I thought he would switch over to GWF.
Well,
and
GFW.
GFW, whatever.
Yeah, Global Force Wrestling. The thing about them, though...
And that if TNA is going the route of no blood, that's kind of... That's really where Abyss fit.
That's going to kill Abyss's character even more. Even
if
they've already kind of destroyed it.
Yeah. That's the one thing he had going for him, though, was he was the go-to guy for hardcore matches and the Monsters Ball storylines and stuff like that.
Yeah. An interesting note about GFW is that they are... I was listening to Jeff Jarrett on JR's podcast just the other day, the Ross Report, which you can find on iTunes and on podcast1.com, or wherever you get your podcast. What they're doing is they're working with different companies, which actually tonight, as of recording this, they're working with New Japan to bring Wrestle Kingdom 9. They're also in talks to work with AAA to bring them to pay-per-view. And what they're going to do is they're going to do like a talent exchange. GFW is going to have their own roster, but they're also going to bring in guys from New Japan and guys from AAA and just, kind of trade talent for a show, a show or two, something like that. So that should be interesting to see. But that's all I got for TNA. Let's move on to our favorite show of the week, NXT.
Oh, I was going to say Sanford and Sons, but
I don't know that show.
Oh, okay.
Do you?
Hey, it's funny.
Huh? I like NXT.
Yeah, NXT is my favorite wrestling show of the week.
And NXT opened up with the Lucha Dragons, the NXT Tag Team Champions, taking on Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan.
I was curious why they were doing this match. To be honest, I mean, Dillinger and Jordan are good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good for them to have the more exposure, especially having them going against the NXT Tag Team Champions. On the other hand, my question, why is this match happening, was answered after the match had ended. The Lucha Dragons winning, Sin Cara hitting his rolling prawn driver off the second rope.
Ow. Landing on Ty Dillinger's face.
Sitting on his face. They were attacked post-match by the Vaudevillains.
Yes.
Who are getting their rematch next week?
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah, the rematch, because of Simon Gotch not being the legal guy, pinned at our Evolution.
Yeah, it's been signed by William Regal that there will be a rematch, and that's why they went against Jordan and Dillinger.
Yes.
Then we had a little backstage segment where Bull Dempsey was talking to CJ Parker. CJ Parker is going against Baron Corbin later in the show, and he's telling CJ Parker that he needs to embarrass Baron Corbin. And CJ's like, no, I need to beat Baron Corbin. I need to win. He says, no, you need to embarrass him. So, we've seen it building over time, Baron Corbin and Bull Dempsey. So, Dempsey's got some devious thoughts, and he's trying to use CJ Parker to get to that point. Then we had Enzo and Cass with Carmella coming out to the ring, doing their usual shtick. But that would be completely overshadowed because with actual theme music, which we'll actually talk about here in just a second, one of the most over-announced,
it might be not to take away anything from Charlotte or Bayley or Sasha Banks. I mean, with the audience reaction, she was the most over diva on NXT.
It was Blue Pants.
Blue Pants returns.
Officially Blue Pants. She's got a nameplate. She's got the music. Okay, let's talk about the music. Initially, the first couple times she's come out, it's always been Cass doing the Price is Right theme song.
Yeah.
And Cass introduces her again for this show. She comes down and you hear the da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, and it does it. She gets in the ring and then it stops. Okay. Kind of normal. She beats Carmella with a roll up.
Yeah, Enzo distracts Carmella. Carmella hits something on Blue Pants, some sort of a move, and Enzo jumps up on the apron all excited.
Yeah, his feet move real fast.
Yes, they do. And she looks and goes, "Hey, what are you doing up on the ring? Get down real quick." And then Blue Pants spins her around and puts her in a small package, or I call it the blue package.
Blue package.
For 1, 2, 3. And Blue Pants wins, and the Price is Right song restarts, but we notice that Cass is down on the ground, not holding the microphone.
So that's her theme music, and then
it did transition into like an actual song.
Yeah. So, but just the fact that that's the intro to her music is amazing.
Yes. Leva Bates also on Facebook has switched everything over on her Facebook page to Blue Pants.
She's officially Blue Pants.
Yeah.
I think that is ridiculous and amazing at the same time.
It was pretty fantastic.
Then we get Baron Corbin versus CJ Parker. Bull Dempsey is standing at a ringside looking very creepy.
Creepy wrestling coach.
He's got the NXT jacket on and everything. Yeah. Baron Corbin, by WWE or NXT Universe count, beat CJ Parker in 34 seconds.
We timed it.
Kevin Hawk timed it, and he officially beat him in 29 seconds flat.
Yes.
On the dot. Baron, still eyes locked on Bull Dempsey, grabs a microphone and says, "Are you just going to stand out there and stare at me, or are we going to do this? Or
are we going to do it?
Are you going to stand out there looking scared, or are we going to do it?" And he jumps out of the ring.
And he actually pulls Dempsey over the
Dempsey's
guardrail.
just kind of laughing at him, but he hard waves him over the barricade, and they start fucking going at it. They are beating the shit out of each other.
And they were separated by 4 referees.
And that allowed Bull Dempsey to walk away and was like, I'm done with this. He was a little bit frazzled, so we're seeing more and more of the build to the eventual clash that will be these two. Do you think they're going to try and save it for the next NXT TakeOver?
No.
No?
No. I'm going to say 2 weeks tops.
You already know that answer, don't you? Why did I ask you?
For WWE, though, I mean, for NXT standards, WWE standards in general, they'd only do the takeovers like every 3 or 4 months. I think it'd be really hard to drag this on for another 3 or 4 because they just had one in December. So it would be really hard for them to drag it out anyways.
They might do a big maybe they'll have like a first hardcore match or something.
Yeah, no DQ match.
That'd be cool.
That'd be neat. Is this the backstage segment?
Yes,
Regal?
it is.
Yeah, Regal backstage talking about...
Devin had a lot of time on
She did.
NXT
She was
this week.
in backstage and in the ring.
Which is the next segment.
Yeah.
She had like a full block of...
It's the Devin hour.
It's the Devin hour of NXT.
Regal backstage talking about the state of affairs in NXT, how the champion is doing, Sami Zayn recovering from the post-match attack by Kevin Owens.
Who will be returning next week to talk about all that stuff that happened.
Sami Zayn will be
back. He sent a video, which happens later in the show, talking about, he's not really sure how to think about it right now, but since William Regal has given him the time, that next week he will have something to say about the NXT title win and about the betrayal of Kevin Owens.
Yes. And his segment backstage was interrupted by Curtis Axel.
This is now the second time that Curtis Axel has walked in on William Regal. I believe it was last week, where he was talking about... Because this was the fallout from TakeOver. William Regal,
2 weeks ago.
Was it? Yeah.
So last week was the recap show.
That's right. William Regal was talking, and then he was interrupted by Curtis Axel and told him he'd get back to him. So Axel shows up this time and says, "I'm back.
I'd like a match.
And, you didn't get back to me. I want on NXT."
He said he wants to restart his career, like a resurgence of his career. So, this is showing that the main roster guys do get to come down to NXT when they want to do something fun.
Yes.
Regal says, fine, you'll get your match.
He's gonna have a fun time next week.
Because he's gonna get to go against Hideo Itami. So he's gonna get kicked a lot.
Yeah.
But, I was actually sort of surprised he thanked William Regal for the opportunity.
Yeah.
So the most polite dick in WWE, Curtis Axel. And then...
Our second part of the Devin hour of
Yes.
NXT. She's out in the ring. She introduces the NXT Women's Champion, Charlotte, and asks Charlotte, how she feels after her her title win and her defense, or well, her 2 back-to-back defenses of the women's title against Sasha. Charlotte says, Sasha Banks is one
It's true that I've beaten her 2 times, which is funny because...
This was 2 days after she beat her on main event.
Yeah, but NXT's pre-recorded.
Yeah, this is actually recorded like 3 weeks ago, so... We understand.
It's funny, though. Because I almost feel like the commentators mentioned they had a match on Superstars. I want to go back and watch it, main event, but I feel like the commentators maybe have even mentioned that they had the match on main event.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and check.
I feel like a lot of the commentary is done post-show.
Yeah. So she touts how good Sasha is, but she did beat her 2 times. This brings Sasha and Becky out, and Sasha's like, "Oh yeah, you beat me 2 times, ha ha ha." Well, guess what's gonna happen now? When they go to each side of the ring, they start to stalk her. Like, okay, we're gonna get in, double beat down.
The female shield.
Yeah, a 2-woman
The
shield.
she-old.
Ha! I see what you did there. But their double team attack will be thwarted by Natalya.
Yeah, that was kind of strange.
I was not expecting that at all.
No, I was kind of thinking the return of Bayley would.
I think
would happen.
They're really playing. They're really playing the knee injury.
Or maybe Blue Pants.
Blue
Because
Pants
they tried to chant Blue Pants while she was talking.
Because Devin asked Charlotte, what's next for the NXT Women's Champion, and they start chanting Blue Pants. They want Blue Pants to get an NXT Women's title shot already. This is
I'm okay with that. But yeah, no. She stopped and said nobody chants while the NXT Women's Champion is talking.
Yes.
But yeah, Natty comes out to make the save. That's neat, and I'm really hoping that they have a tag team match in the coming weeks.
Yeah, because Sasha and Becky end up
backing off,
backing off, and saying, when we're ready. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not on.
Becky Lynch pointing out her past on the Indies with Natalya.
Yeah.
Actually saying, hey, Natty, me and you go back a long ways.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of history between them from the Indies. They wrestled in a lot of the same places. So I mean, good things. I feel like only good things can come out of this tag team match idea.
Just the combination of the 4 of them, I can only imagine what kind of talent we can see. So I'm super excited. Then we have Renee talking to Kevin Owens, saying,
previously recorded.
Yeah, I don't know
segment.
when exactly this was, but yeah, she says, so, you got to have your moment, debuting on NXT, and then Sami Zayn tried to have his moment. He goes, what are you talking about? He had his moment. He won the NXT title. And she goes, yeah, but then you attacked him and you put him out of action. And he goes, I don't, there's your lifelong friend.
Yeah, so you stole the moment from your lifelong friend.
Well, I'm 30 and I've known him for 12, and so I don't know where you got your math from. But yeah, I don't need this. I'm just gonna leave. He gets up and walks away.
Well, yeah, he says that, and if you're gonna accuse me of stealing anything, I don't think I need to be here.
Yeah, and that was that. I mean,
yeah,
not a full interview, but that's. I think that's really gonna be Kevin Owens.
It says a lot about the direction they're putting Kevin Owens in during
definitely. But then we had our main event, a rematch from NXT TakeOver Our Evolution. We had the Ascension taking on Finn Balor and Hideo
Kicking
Itami.
and stomping.
That's actually a tag team, by the way.
Yeah.
They have.
These guys are better.
They have 2 shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. I saw that earlier today. Yeah, so we start off very much like we did at TakeOver. A lot of brawling, which leads to the double hesitation drop kick.
Which I'm fairly. Didn't they move out of the way this time around? The Ascension learned.
Yes. They got out of the way.
They watched the tapes.
And
or the network, I guess. They probably just had the network.
This was different though because the Ascension worked over Finn for most of the match.
Yes.
And Hideo ended up getting the hot tag.
I feel like it's good because it's good to have variety.
Yeah, it was literally the complete opposite of TakeOver.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Ascension were very strong through most of it. Itami and Balor got little bits of offense. which allowed for a good build. Hot tag comes. Hideo's just going fucking crazy. He gets hit with the STO.
Stops him real quick.
Yeah, he kicks out of that. Then the final finish comes. Finn Balor does a double stomp from the apron to the floor onto Connor.
Yeah.
While Hideo hits the Victor's on his knees and he hits like a pseudo Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah, I just liken it to Tajiri's kick, the buzzsaw kick.
But he adds a little like Tony Jaa spin into it, and knocks Victor the hell out. And
this was after teasing the GTS again.
Again,
it's gonna happen.
The crowd is gonna lose their goddamn mind when it finally happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hideo Itami and Finn Balor get the win again over the Ascension. Great match. Very reminiscent of their takeover match, which was equally as good. I was glad Finn Balor wasn't painted up for this one.
Yeah.
And they're keeping that for special situations. But yeah, a really good episode of NXT.
It's fun. It brought some life back into NXT after having a recap show.
Yeah. But at least that recap show had the rematch for the NXT Women's Championship. But that is it for the midweek wrap-up. We got a couple of videos over there. We got our special video this week is Thomas Wolfe's top 5 of the year. And we all kind of get in a discussion of who's going to be a top 5 of 2015.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, by the way, since we are officially through the midweek wrap-up, which means we're officially in 2015.
Holy cow. It's a different year now.
This episode started in 2014 and it ended in 2015. It's the longest show we've ever done.
Yep.
It's a year long.
We started, what, week 28?
28, yeah.
28 last year.
No, 29.
Last year. We started this last year.
It's a long
See you later.
Yeah, that's it for the midweek wrap-up. Go and check out all the videos over there.
There's at least 5 of them.
Yeah. And
it usually is.
We've got Raw, we've got indie news, some interesting stuff. We got a lot of updates for indie news. We've got the very first SmackDown of 2015, also hosted by Edge and Christian. So be sure to check out all those videos over there. All of our information is down in the description. Like, favorite, subscribe, comment. Be sure to check out Tweet us. Be sure to check out the Facebook page. I started doing a thing. Thomas Wolfe got me a Christmas present. It's a This Day in WWE History. And so for each day, I'm actually posting the little trivia fact, which actually this week is a trivia question for the dates of Saturday the 3rd and Sunday the 4th. So yeah, go on there, comment, like, get in on a discussion. Let's talk about stuff that we may or may not know have happened. Has happened. Have happened? Was that right? Has happened.
In the past.
You should also check out the videos that have happened. And go to the next video that will happen.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
Bye-bye.